Evening, this is Paul Cooney, delighted to be with you tonight in the company of the former Rangers star Jamie Murphy and the Celtic legend, just let me check the name here, Peter Grant, who's with us here live in the studio. He's going to get me for that one. Well, the transfer window slammed shut at 11 o'clock last night. What did you think of your team's business? Give us a call, 0808 17 17 700. The headlines today: Celtic is loan deals, nobody actually signed for cash. But the loan deals coming in: Joel Nvuka, Junior Adamu, the striker, and Benjamin Arthur on loan from Brentford. And the big news today is that Oxlade Chamberlain has been in touch. His people have been talking with Celtic, and could the former Liverpool, Arsenal and England attacking midfielder be on his way to Celtic Park? We'll hear Martin O'Neill speak about that this afternoon. And also, Martin told Jim White this morning that he probably wouldn't be open to staying at Celtic beyond the summer. But that's an if. We'll hear from that shortly. For Rangers fans, what are you thinking? Ryan Naderi is in the building. He's signed. Rangers chased him all the way. They got him. Joe Rothwell has left to Ibrox, as has Danilo. We'll tell you more about that on top of the three signings: Skov Olsen, Chukwueze and Romans. Hearts have been doing business, so too have Hibs. As we look forward to the games tonight, and it's the top of the table, it's the league leaders Hearts at St Mirren this evening, ahead of tomorrow night when Rangers play Kilmarnock, Aberdeen Celtic, as well as Livy against Falkirk, Hibs Dundee United and Dundee against Motherwell. 0808 17 17 700. Welcome, guys, to the show.
Thank you very much, Paul.
Peter, terrible attempt at humour at the beginning there, because you are a legend, and you said after the window you're going to say who you think is going to lift the title. You know the state of play. What do you make of Celtic, first of all? Alex Oxlade Chamberlain, talks have been going on. Martin O'Neill speaks about it in a moment. But the player, 30-odd caps for England.
No, he's a talented player. You know, I don't know how he's been playing recently, Paul. Obviously, he's been out of work in the respect of that. I think he's been coaching and training at Arsenal. But when he was at his best, he was a very good player, because he could play midfield, he could play numerous positions and play them well. He wouldn't say he was a right winger, he wouldn't say he was a central midfield player. He just played in that forward area of the pitch. He was strong, and obviously he's got a football background. I remember his father very well. Oxlade Chamberlain played at Sheffield Wednesday. So you look at it and you think he's got the background, but yet again the big question mark is, Paul, where's his fitness?
We'll find out. Will he come? What do you make of it, Jimmy, when you heard that?
That would be a good signing. I mean, these type of players, they've got great experience, played at a high level, played for their country. That's the kind of people Celtic should be looking to sign. I know he's a little bit older than probably they would have liked if it was been perfect, but he's had a great career. He still looks fit. Obviously going to be fresh because he hasn't had a team. Is he going to come in and play every week to start with? Probably not, but could he do a job for Celtic? Yeah, I definitely think he can.
He's only 32, of course. Rangers tried this, 3 years ago? With Aaron Ramsey, of course, an Arsenal legend and Welsh, but it just didn't work out, did it, for whatever reason?
No, but you could tell he was a good player. It didn't quite work at the time, but I know Rangers fans were certainly excited when they thought of him coming in. Martin
O'Neill was asked about it this afternoon.
You kind of mentioned the possibility of perhaps looking at the free agent market as well. There has been some reports linking you with Alex Oxlade Chamberlain. Mm-hmm. Is he a player that you quite like?
I do. I genuinely do. Yes, he has trained at Arsenal for some time since his time in Turkey. Spoke to him, and but I mean, I'm sure he'll have lots of options. Maybe closer to London as well too, like anything else. Yeah, but he was very affable, I must admit. I would be very interested in doing it, but as I said to you, one, I'm surprised that people haven't taken him up closer to the area, and he has trained. He's telling me he's training with Arsenal for quite some considerable time, and so in terms of fitness, it's not match fitness, but it's fine. We'll see. And he's got loads of options.
Of course, his partner is Perry Edwards from Little Mix, Peter, as you know, and they've just recently had another baby. So that could be an option. But the chance for him to play in front of 60,000, European football as well, Strasbourg in a couple of weeks, it could be quite enticing for him.
Absolutely, yeah. Paul. If you get an opportunity at that stage in your career to play with a massive club like Celtic Football Club, you've got to look at it. And Martin's right, if he's fully fit, there's maybe different situations he's looking at. Maybe he wants to stay at home. Maybe his wife, as you say, she's in a band. Yeah. Is she at home? All these situations arise. But if you're in the, I'm going to say in the mix.
Yeah,
Excuse
indeed, well
me, forgive
done.
the pun. You know, if you're in the mix,
Powering on, yeah.
in that respect, he is a talented boy. It's great that Martin's saying he's fully fit because he's training, and he's right. It's definitely a Martin O'Neill signing. That's the sort of signing Martin would make. He likes that experience to come into his group and that professionalism to come into his group to push Celtic towards that, hopefully getting that title. That's what he's desperate to get.
Celtic fans, what do you think? 0808 17 17 700 online this morning. A lot of chat about who spent what during the window, and Celtic haven't actually spent money on transfers. Of course, they're shelling out some big money on loan deals. But what do you think? And has your team done enough to retain the title? Same question to Rangers fans. What are you feeling? And Hearts fans feeling really confident as they go into the game with St Mirren tonight. But St Mirren have been a bit of a bogey team for the Jam Tarts in recent years. Let's hear from Danny Röhl then. So Naderi, he wasn't going to come just now. The club didn't want to lose him. But Rangers, I think, upped the money. Here is the Rangers boss.
Yeah, at first I'm very happy that we could sign him yesterday, very late. I think it was a long process with him then finally, but we convinced him. I think he showed straight that he wanted to come. It was very clear. I had good talks with him as well. Yeah, we tracked him in the last couple of weeks and months. He scored, he had some good assists. I think he's powerful, he can run. Good header, good physicality, good pressing player. A lot of things what we need in front. We know still he comes to us and he needs also some minutes to adapt to a new league. I think this is normal. But I think general, when I look back to our window, I'm very positive about this, not just about the ins, also how we handle the outs. I think special when you look ahead in the second half of the season, we reduced the numbers, but we increased the quality in the squad. I think this is great. A good thing is as well that we signed players, not just loan. That shows that we have also a view for the long term. For the summer, I think that was also very important when we make decisions together. I think this is always about togetherness in the club at the moment. It's not just me or it's my favorite player. We speak a lot about how we can improve the group, and so far I'm very happy what we did so far.
Jamie, he couldn't have been so happy at full time at Easter Road though. So he needed Naderi in. What do you feel about this new signing?
I haven't seen him. I think I'm with most people that German third division's not a bit outside my zone.
Really?
But people have said that it's what Rangers are looking for. A couple of, you'd like to trust Rangers' recruitment department. They've done their job. They've went to watch him. They've seen him more than once, hopefully, and they've decided he's the man. And do you know what? I don't mind paying a bit extra for him if they decided that he's going to be the guy. All I was thinking was, what is your other strikers thinking at the club? You've got Chermitis came in, Mijov's came in. If you're only going to play one up front, maybe one other striker coming on, what's the other one going to do? And at the minute,
start scoring goals.
Well, yeah, that'd be nice.
And that's the problem, isn't it? They've disappointed Mijovski and Chermiti.
The game at the weekend was really poor from Rangers' point of view. Hibs did well. They defended well. They'd done their job. They caught Rangers on the break a few times and probably should have scored, particularly later in the first half. But Rangers just never had that final third spark. It never quite got there.
OK, we're going in the lines in a second or two. We will speak Rangers more in a moment, Peter. Let's hear Martin O'Neill about the loan deals yesterday. Then we're going to Kevin after this.
Well, let's just get back to the point I've said to you here for the last 3 or 4 weeks. We had, for instance, we had a deal set up with Frosinone for the lad coming in, and he chose to stay. That's entirely his decision to make. He wanted to see if Frosinone can get into the Premier League. Really fine player, and that's it. So everything is sorted. So those things happen. They happen in the game. It happens from the 1st of January. It happens on the 24th, and it happens later on. So it's that does happen. It's happened every single time. So you can have things set up. You can be thwarted, as I said to you. Some players that we we're in for have gone for I wouldn't call bigger clubs, but probably pretty big money and stuff like this here. So who doesn't?
Peter, overall, what do you feel about those who are coming in, Mvuka, Adamu and Arthur?
I don't know anything about them, Paul.
Okay.
I must be perfectly honest. I don't know nothing about them. Obviously, I've watched a few clips on the boys, but it's very, very difficult. I'm not the one that's scouting there. The boys that's been obviously recommended with the work that's been on in the background. I know it's changed a little bit since the last manager was in. Probably these players have changed that they were looking at. I'm quite surprised that the centre back went in for Brentford. Not because I've not seen him play, but I was just thinking Stephen Welsh. I know he's not the biggest, but he's good in the air. And I think Celtic are weak in the air. Unless this boy comes in and he's 6'4" and he's going to make a difference that way. So the centre back one's a wee bit of concern. I know Stephen Welsh would probably want to go out and play at Motherwell. I understand that. But to be perfectly honest with you, I'd be more interested in Celtic than worrying about how Motherwell. And that surprised me a little bit. The other guys, I don't know too much about. Yes, saying a right winger. The other one, I'm concerned when everybody says about a striker now. Oh, he can play wide left, he can play wide right. I just want him to be a striker. And I was going to say that to Jamie when he's talking about the strikers. Does it put Celtic and Rangers in a situation again now that they can play two strikers? I'm looking at Celtic and Rangers and I'm crying out at times, why are you playing with one striker? I know everybody else does it. Celtic and Rangers should be able to play with two strikers. And if you've got them and they can match together, that's what you should do. And I just think, hopefully, with the signings that's been made, they can put two strikers on the pitch instead of a midfielder arriving.
I'm going to bring in Kevin at this point, but I can tell you, I think Chris Burke feels that Arthur has traits like young Virgil van Dijk. And there's praise indeed for the young defender coming in. Kevin, good evening. How are you feeling? What do you make of the transfer window?
Well, I think I was on here. I was on last week, Paul, and I think you can remember I had said that my dream window would be to get a striker, two wingers, and a centre half. And we went out and got a striker, a right winger, and a centre half. So, however, the risky sounded backwards. I'm absolutely still fuming. We haven't spent a penny. I know spending money doesn't give you guarantees, but we basically bring in two boys that are struggling for game time, struggling for form, probably struggling for confidence, and we bring in a defender that's played 3 professional games for Bournemouth, and we've got a title at stake. I don't know how Peter feels as a Celtic man, but I can tell you right now, you go to the YouTube, one of the Celtic fans channels, who some of the guys have got 40, 50, 60,000 subscribers. They're absolutely fuming. Now, these guys could come in and be superstars, and it'll be a masterstroke by the board.
By Martin O'Neill, probably. Yeah, exactly. And remember, to be fair, your club knocked back 25 million last night. 20 million plus 5 million for Engels, who many people were saying he's not good enough for Celtic. So they can't have it both ways. Peter, what would you say to Kevin?
No, I understand what Kevin's saying, but if you look down south, and I've said that the biggest problem you've got now, I know people always talk about the January window. The problem is other players have got to move. If you look in England yesterday, hardly any signings were made in the Premier League.
Yeah, saw that.
So it means they're keeping the 25 named players, and I believe if they're not in the Premier League 25, they shouldn't be coming to Celtic, if you understand what I'm trying to say there, the quality you're looking for. So you're going to end up with guys that we don't know. And that's exactly what's happened, because nobody was moving. So they keep them all. They don't play any games. All the ones that you think, I'd have an interest in him, I'd have an interest in him. That's why you end up looking at guys that's out of contract, like Oxlade Chamberlain, because they're not connected to clubs. So they have to be movement for you to go. So I've got a bit of sympathy with Martin in that respect. The fact that Martin's come in late on and changed probably the personnel that he's wanted, and now all of a sudden he's looking. But I can guarantee you, I don't think Martin would have signed one of these boys if he didn't think they could make an effect. Sure. My concern, like everyone else, like any Celtic supporter, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, if I'm looking for a centre forward, he's played 18 games and he's only scored 1 goal, I've got a bit of concern. So whether that's him not playing any games or whatever, I'm like any supporter, Paul, we'd all feel concerned like that. But God willing, like Kevin says there, hopefully the guys all make an impact. We didn't know all the Japanese lads, and they were brilliant when they came in. So I understand that. So we've got to look at that and keep that faith that you've got to trust Martin O'Neill, because I know the types of players that he would want to come to Celtic.
But
and I
Kevin,
don't think he would take anything else.
I do understand what you're saying and what thousands of Celtic fans are saying. January transfer window, Rangers spent 12 million, Hearts 1.5, Hibs 1.1, Aberdeen $250,000, Dundee United 200k. It goes down to Falkirk 100k, Celtic 0, zippo, nada. I mean, they were going to spend money on Mvuka, but there was an issue apparently during the medical, so he's in on loan with an option to buy in the summer. So in fairness, but I get it, Jamie. It is hard to believe, isn't it? It just shows you how it has changed. They changed managers 3-4 weeks ago, and you can see that in there. But time will tell. These might be great signings in the short term from Martin O'Neill and the board, but also Joe is on saying, listen, it just shows you it's kind of perverse. 25 million for a player like Engels, who was heavily criticised, and the board have said no. But if they'd got strategy right last summer, then they could maybe have enjoyed another windfall with Engels.
Definitely, I think what it's shown is Celtic have the money, because if they didn't, they would have accepted that bid right away. I think one of the biggest things for me is players looking at the manager situation and the club situation. I think when you know a manager's only going to be there for 3 or 4 months, are you really wanting to risk a 3-4 year contract on a manager that you don't know is going to be there? If Martin O'Neill's not there, they might bring another manager in. Is he going to like me as a player? Is he not? Is that me out the door when a new manager comes? Am I going to play? There's loads of questions, and I think in that case it is difficult for players to want to. Players should want to come to Celtic. You're not just taking players for money anyway. So anyone that's not in at the minute, they could be thinking maybe I'll wait and see until the summer. Is it going to be a new manager or what? It just puts a lot of questions in their head.
Kevin, I don't know if you heard this morning, Martin O'Neill on with Jim White and Simon Jordan on Talk Sport, and they asked him what's going to happen after this season. They said, I think they actually said, if you win the title, would you want to stay on? Or?
Yeah. Would you want this job if it was there to be gotten?
Yeah, would I want the job? Do you want an answer now?
Yeah,
Probably
I do.
not.
Yeah, I do. Because I know you would.
Right. Yeah, probably not. I think it's much, much easier to be sitting alongside you two. I would enjoy that much more, spiky old sod.
Kevin, what do you feel?
I feel that I would like Martin to stay on. I'm not sure if he's just being a wee bit coy there with the guys. I'm not sure if he wants to put himself out there, but I would understand that he didn't want to stay on. I mean, Martin's in his into his 70s now, so maybe he's just. See, some of your Celtic fans, we don't really we want Martin in, but we don't want him to suffer with stress. If that makes sense, we want him. Why don't we take care of yourself? And it's a stressful job. So if he's trying to get full support to the board, full backing, and he doesn't need to stress out about the board not backing him, then I would like him to stay on. But I wouldn't want Martin to go through all that stress, because he's in his 70s now and he should be enjoying life. But the selfish part of me would like him to stay on, because look at the job he's doing now.
He's been amazing for Celtic. Yeah, throw that to Peter. Peter, you were doing it in your 40s and your 50s. Do you think Martin could continue at 73?
Yeah, I think he could, but I think the difference now, Paul, is there's no break in between, games now. When Martin was here the first time, Martin could give the boys a few days off. The amount of games they're playing with Europe and travel you'd got to do now is a hell of a lot different. And Martin was a hell of a lot younger then.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about any age in any sort of form. The big thing, I would definitely have him there. The role Tisdale was in, could Martin O'Neill not be the go-between between the board and the new manager? Help select a new manager, because Martin knows all the tools that you need to have to be a Celtic manager, but also the board, so he can push the board. If you're going to buy, I want to go and buy Jamie Murphy, right? Martin's going there and saying, right, I really like Jamie Murphy. He would be a positive for us to come to this club.
That would cause a bit of controversy.
Exactly. You understand what I'm saying?
Go on, yeah.
And he's speaking to the board as well, because the manager wants them, because the managers went to Martin. And it's easier sometimes, because the manager's got so much to do coaching the team and that. Yeah. So he could go to Martin, knowing he's got the full trust of Martin. And that's the sort of role maybe Martin would enjoy more if he doesn't want the day-to-day involvement. And then help select the new Celtic manager, because he knows what the new Celtic manager, forget you've won trophies X, Y and Z. This is Celtic. There's a completely different pressure comes with us. Wilfred Nancy just a few weeks ago.
Kevin, before you go, let's hear what Martin O'Neill said today, because I want to ask everyone today, what's going to happen in the title race? From a Celtic perspective, what does Martin O'Neill feel?
My view is exactly the same as it was before when I arrived here. We're chasing. We're chasing down, and at the end of it all, we've got we're behind. and it's in Hearts' hands. So, and the less games, that are playing, you know, I keep mentioning this. I know you're sick of me hearing it, or sick of I'm sick of saying it, and you're sick of hearing it. Is that we've got no error positions.
What do you feel then, Kevin? And I hear your frustrations. Are you more confident tonight than you were yesterday about retaining the title?
Aye, I'm on a wee bit more confident. I was more confident the minute Martin O'Neill came in, to be honest. But now that we've got cover, I just hope that these boys can come in. And my concern is that they've not had game time. But I remember Martin O'Neill signing Alan Thompson and Chris Sutton when they get game time. So hopefully they end up not too bad for us.
Great points. Craig Moore's listening to the show. He's saying steady about that comparison with the Brentford defender who's come to Celtic, a comparison with Virgil van Dijk. But Peter, you like the sound of that?
I think anybody would. You know, listen, Virgil van Dijk was wonderful for Celtic in the short period of time he was there, and he went on to do fantastic things, obviously, at Liverpool. But it's a very difficult one, Paul. You're going into a championship, and I give it, Kevin, you're fighting for your life to go and win a championship. A young player coming out. I'm surprised at the age, the lack of games. Hopefully proves me 100% wrong, because you've got Dane Murray there at 23. And obviously Stephen Welsh now, who had experience. I know people will question ability of it, but he's 26 years of age. He knows the division really well. You don't get much time to learn up here. And you've seen that with Pusey.
Of course.
Pusey was straight
Simpson
back down the road.
We just saw next to nothing.
Exactly. And he was straight back down the road. And he came up with all the flags flying as well. And
what flags were flying? I don't remember
but you understand, coming from Manchester City.
I know.
And you've got to be very, very careful of that.
Different game, isn't it?
Absolutely. And a defender... You have to be very much on your game up here. One mistake could end your career here, because it's such a vital time.
OK, more on Celtic and Rangers coming next. Was that your first time in the dugout as the sort of coach there? Scott Brown was in the stand and you led Ayr United. I mean, under him up there, but you were there trackside. 2-1 win over Wraith Rovers at the weekend. Congratulations.
Cheers. No, it was a good win. I mean, different experience for myself. Obviously injured at the minute, so trying to help out behind the scenes. And
what was different? Tell me, what's it like actually when you're there, pitch side, and you're bellowing the instructions rather than the manager?
Well, I wouldn't say I was bellowing the instructions, to put it that way.
What were you like going? You shout, hey!
No, you obviously see things in the game and you maybe mention them. I was on the earpiece to the manager who was elsewhere. So you watch, you observe, and if he wants my opinion, I'll give it. I'm not going to force it on anyone.
Is that blood coming out of your left ear there? Can I see that after? Can you imagine Scott Brown and the instructions, Peter?
No, it's not easy, Paul, that's for sure. And Jamie's right, but his experience tells him. And it's great learning. And it shows you the picture's completely different. When you're on there, you're concerning yourself about yourself. But when you're a coach, you're concerning yourself about all your players. And the secret is, for me, don't follow the ball. You've got to watch everywhere else where the ball is. So you're organising your backline, and I'm sure Jamie's experience will tell him in certain areas, and he knows what the managers obviously said to the players prior.
Sure.
So that information to him and Stephen Whittaker was vital, and his experience I'm sure will set him in good stead for being a coach in the future.
Was it a one-match ban for the manager up there?
Just the one.
Just one. So he'll be back this weekend. You've got it's the trophy, isn't it? Because it's Scottish Cup weekend.
Yep. Big game, St Johnstone away. Yep. Pitch doesn't look great for us, but
no, I saw it the other night. Yeah,
it's going to be a tough one. They're a good side, St Johnstone, so we've got to work it out. But quarter final, cup is there to win, so we'll try our best.
You wouldn't have been unhappy to see the late goal for Partick Thistle, because you want to stay as close as you can to both of them.
Yeah, I watched the game Friday night. It was a good game of football. I wasn't passing football, put it that way, with the pitch. Both teams did what they had to do, and two good teams going at it. It was an exciting game. Good goal from Josh McPake in the second half to put them in the lead, and then a last-minute penalty to change things.
It sure was. Rangers fans, what are you thinking about the window yesterday? An additional piece of info is that Rabbi Matondo could be on his way, the 25-year-old Welsh winger. They could be ending his contract early. You'll hear Danny Röhl speak about him and praising him as a great person around the dressing room, but he's obviously paring down the squad with Rothwell has gone to Sheffield United and Danilo has gone as well. So you know the division down there well, Jamie, at Sheffield United.
Yeah, do you know what? There's been many a player who's been a really good player down in England. They've come up to Scotland and it hasn't quite worked, and they go back down and they're just as good as they were before. So you could see that happening with Rothwell. You could see there was a player in there. It was just a bad time, obviously, with Russell Martin coming in, him trying to play a little different role, that sitting midfielder, and the team just didn't quite click when he was in it. So, you know, I'm sure Rangers fans will wish him all the best, and it's time to move on.
Title race. Who is going to win it? Let's. Well, the question was put this afternoon then to Danny Röhl. How confident are you about this title?
I was prepared for this question. Yeah, I'm honest to you, I think I totally believe we can a lot of win games until the end of the season. But I can't give you the guarantee today that we win 14 games because there's still an opponent. But I'm totally convinced that this group has everything to go forward in these final steps.
Peter, what do you think of the Rangers squad now?
It's definitely stronger, Paul. There is no doubt about that. I've not seen Romans, but the other guys are good players. I know Olsen didn't play well at the weekend. I think it's just a matter of getting game time for him. Naderi I've not seen much of, but the big thing, and that's why I think it's going to give Rangers advantage, is they've signed a striker who's playing and scoring goals. And I've heard people talking in Germany where they've sort of described him as a cross between, you'll probably remember, I'm not sure, Jamie Will's Freddie Bobic.
Of course. Yeah.
And Walter Maeder.
Yep.
They're two guys he's been mentioned. If he's anything like them, he's a decent player. And for Rangers to spend that amount of money, but I think that's what gives them the edge. It's a player that's playing games and has been playing games. And it's a striker where everybody looks out for. We're still talking about Celtic bringing strikers in, but some of them are trying to get their game legs. And I think Rangers have already got a player in there now that can come in and get straight into the team and score goals, because you always got to have that if you're part of Celtic or Rangers.
The manager, Danny Röhl, was also asked about Hearts then. So, I mean, everyone is treating them with real respect. And even those that thought they're going to falter, well, the games are now ticking down. So what does Danny Röhl feel about the league leaders and the race?
I think, general, they are very consistent in what they are doing. Even we took a lot of points and we closed the gaps closer and closer. At the moment they have the advantage that they have always this 6 points ahead. Even they play a draw and they are still ahead. But we come in final weeks, and the good thing is we have minimum 2 games against them. I think this helps us as well. They have to play some strong opponents. We will see. You can be maybe 37 games on top of the table. More important is where you're at the end of the season, and with this mindset, I would go really in this last couple of months now. I think this is also what I want to say, and I know a draw feels never nice. We know this. We are also disappointed, but a draw in Hibs. And I think this is what I learned now since I'm here. Hibs is a tough place to go. It's not always where the world goes under. I think this is also crucial to understand, and this is on my part. I understand completely the disappointed because we're emotional. We want to do this, but a draw, take the point at the end. The point could be very important for us as well. And tomorrow we are ready to go again against the opponent. They took now a first win after October with the manager. We know him, you know him. He will bring a lot of energy, spirit into. He wants to show how good he is, of course. We have to be ready for a next big fight because this is tough in this league. And if we do our homework, then we will see where we are after this match day.
Jamie, what do you make of that? He's saying it could be game 37 or right at the end, game 38. What did you take from his comments?
That he still believes that it's there for Rangers, which I think it is. I mean, he spoke there about going away to Hibs and a point's not the end of the world, which it isn't. I mean, they could have played better, but they didn't concede, which was important for them. I think he mentioned the 2 games against Hearts there, and Rangers really do have to win the both of them, I think, to have a chance. You never know, Hearts could drop behind, but with both Celtic and Hearts ahead of them at the minute, they're big games.
What's your prediction for the league title then, Jamie?
Oh, Can I sound like Danny Röhl and say there's a long time to go?
No, yeah, you can, but what's going to happen? 14 games to go. Who's going to win the title? Is it the Jambos? Is it Celtic? Is it Rangers?
I think it's between Celtic and Rangers. I think Hearts have surprised everyone so far this season. I think that's fair to say. Could they go on and do it? Yes, but I think the games against Rangers and Celtic will be difficult for them, especially away from home. And if they lose both the games, that's 6 points, and that's us back to level. So I know it doesn't quite work like that, but they're huge games. They'll be cup finals for Hearts. They'll be cup finals for everyone.
What do you think, Rangers fans? Give us a call. 0808 17 17 700, the Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Gary's on the line. Hi, Gary. Good evening. Oh, can we turn down the radio, Gary? I've not said that for a few years. Gary, need to turn down the radio. I don't want to hear myself back. So, hi, Gary. Gary, turn the radio down, please. Yeah. Let me know when you have. Hello, Gary. Hi, you're on. He's got the delay there, because we do have that little delay. Hi, Gary.
Hello, Gary.
Oh, Gary, you need to turn the radio down. Okay, turn the radio down.
I know that Celtic have had difficulties bringing in players, but I would think it would be a good thing for Lennon Miller to come across and done a wee bit on loan, especially with the prospect of the World Cup coming up, and he's not been getting a game for Atalanta. So I just thought that'd be a good point. I don't know what the panel would think of that.
Yeah, and I missed the start there. You're a Celtic fan, so you think Celtic should get him on loan. You know they could have got him last January, Gary. It was a real possibility, but they didn't.
No, he's a talented player. There's no doubt of that, Paul. He's a talented boy, and he should have kept playing. And it was always my concern going abroad, for him. But even at Celtic, I think it was one of these situations. You're looking at it, and he's probably looked at it as well. I know Brendan was a manager at the time, and he's thinking, am I going to start in the Celtic midfield at this moment in time? Maybe he thought he was, but maybe Brendan said to him, listen, we're going to give you a couple of months to break yourself in. And the boys probably went, I've got a chance to go to Italy. And to be fair, for a young player nowadays, getting that opportunity to go abroad and learn so young, it's not as if you're going to say, well, I'm going to come back when I'm 35 or whatever. To go so young, and like Lewis Ferguson, if it's not working out for them, they can come back at a young age, much more mature, much better players. But if there was an opportunity to take him on loan, I think it's something Celtic would maybe have looked at if Arne Engels would have been sold, for instance.
Yes.
Because he's that, for me, that's a similar type to Arne Engels. I think people put you as a number 6, a number 8 or a number 10 now. For me, he's a midfield player. He can go forward, he can score goals, he can play. If he's a deeper one, he can play. So he's a combination of that. So I think Engels is more of a central midfielder, as in central midfielder, not like Callum, who just sits there and organises and plays that deeper one predominantly. I think they like to get in the box more. And Lennon Miller, I believe, would have been ideal if someone like Arne Engels would have been sold.
So if Celtic got anyone like that, Mvuka is he more a winger?
More of a wide player, right. I'm led to believe, Paul.
So has anyone come in?
Not for that area, because of kept Arne Engels in there.
Sure.
I mean, I'm a big supporter
of
Bernardo as well, and Arne Engels. I think the team at times doesn't suit Arne Engels because he loves that space to run into. But because the fullbacks come in so narrow, he drops into the fullback area to receive possession, so he's too far away for the goal. And if you remember when he came in at first, the amount of goals and opportunities he got with running in the box, he scored one a couple of weeks ago with doing exactly what he's great at, arriving in the box late and sliding them in the net.
That's coaching, surely.
Yeah, but I just think sometimes the way the teams play now with fullbacks and all that, there's no space.
No space.
And I feel a lot of times, and I'm talking about Celtic's midfield, you look at them and you could throw a bit of paper around them all together because they come too close to each other. I think sometimes leave the space because that allows opportunities for others to go and express themselves. And that's why it's like Nygren's done better playing more as a second striker. Really, he's a wee bit higher with Arne Engels, and Callum is sitting a little bit deeper. And I think that's why he's got the more opportunities to get in the box.
Here's the thing. Celtic, my information is, we've told you for months, for a year, Lennon Miller was persuaded to come to Celtic at the beginning of the window at the start of 2025. Okay, his people said, this is some opportunity. Brendan Rodgers, I think, had sold it to him, or his people, yeah? And it didn't happen. And you go forward a year, and all the things that happened about the lack of signings, and an offer on the table for 25 million for Arne Engels, who many people thought was, well, he's not going to work out with Celtic. Well, they would have made their money on it. And they could, and if buts and maybes, but they could have got Lennon Miller for what last year? 4 or 5 million.
It was 4 million.
4 or 5 million. Now, listen, people were trying their best, but they're so off the ball in terms of the recruitment or whatever's going on at Celtic. It's not like them, Peter. And they got so much wrong. And if they'd got Lennon Miller then, it might have been a different story.
Yeah, of course. But this season was a season like no other. I don't care what anybody says. 4 managers, Martin twice, Nonce.
But that wouldn't have happened, probably, if you'd got a Lennon Miller, maybe.
But maybe at the time, Paul, you spent 11 million. Well, at that particular time, you had Ernie Engels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, yes. Were you getting offered that amount of money for Ernie Engels?
No.
No, you weren't.
But he was part of a team that won a double, sorry.
But Ernie Engels was playing well at that particular time.
Yeah.
So you're looking at it and saying, well, you've got to go there and fight with Callum McGregor, Röhl, Tati, Bernardo, you know, and all these boys you've got to get in there. And it didn't happen. And it's a shame because I thought he's a talented boy and he was more than capable of playing for Celtic or Rangers, similar to we said about Lewis Ferguson. And sometimes you've got to make a decision. Celtic think, oh, well, I'm not paying as much as that. Maybe. And that's normal, Paul. You heard Martin talking about that earlier on. Some people want to come, some people don't want to come. If the boy wanted to come, he maybe was hungry to start playing because he'd been playing in Motherwell's team and been their best player. You know, so he wanted to continue playing. So there can be different reasons why things don't work out. But I'm saying in this window, if it had been slightly different, maybe Martin would have looked at the Arnie Engels situation and says, right, if this is the start of January and we've got an offer like that, and Lennon Miller's available, we could do that, sell him, get him in and take Lennon on loan.
This time yesterday, Forrest came in 3 times with bids for Arnie Engels.
For here, that's an awful lot of money. It's an awful lot of money. And I personally, I'm delighted that the board turned it down. And it is, you know, it's really tempting. And it's come at a very, very late stage, I must admit, from that viewpoint. So, real great credit to them. I think Arnie, I think he didn't kick up a fuss about it either, even though it's come in late. And of course, it's tempting. It's, you know, it's really big money for here, and but they didn't, you know, they didn't take the bait, and so I'm really pleased, and we can relook at things in the summertime. Things, obviously, life changes like that there, but you know that was a major statement.
We're going to talk Rangers with Derek after this. Are you off to St Mirren against Hearts tonight? Who can stop the Jam Tarts? Race towards the title that hasn't happened in our lifetime, I don't think. Even ours, Peter. Has it?
Exactly.
No.
Thank God we stopped it in the 86, Paul.
We being Peter's at Celtic, was it Albert Kidd?
Yes,
up at
famous,
Dundee.
famous.
Jamie Murphy, ex-Rangers star, A United star at the moment, is with us. We're going to talk Rangers now. Let's go on the line. Derek's on. Hi, Derek. Good evening.
Hi, good evening, Paul. Good evening, panel.
Evening, Derek.
Hi, Derek.
How you doing?
I know by yourself, Paul. They'll not be winning it this year either, Paul. Don't you worry about that.
The Hearts not going to win it.
Do you think Rangers have made a mistake not signing the player for Motherwell?
Maswanhise.
Yes.
Great question. Jamie, what do you feel? Jamie Murphy.
I'm a bit torn on it because he's obviously done really well this year. He's scored a lot of goals, but I think if you look back at other signings that have been made, both Celtic and Rangers, from players that have had one good season in Scotland, I'm thinking of Chifchi going to Celtic, players like that,
United,
and they come in and they realise that maybe they aren't as quite as good as I thought they were going to be.
Miovski, does he come into that category?
Well, you could argue Miovski comes into that, because he hasn't quite done it at Rangers. He was brilliant at Aberdeen, scored loads of goals.
But 18 goals, Maswanhise, so far.
Yeah, and he's been a big part of Motherwell's rise, if you want to call it that, up to 4th place. He's done great. Obviously, he's been away for a bit. He's come back now. Again, it was also a lot of money they were asking for a player that's had
How much do we reckon?
6 months.
4 million? Thereabouts?
Yeah, I think Rangers have done a better one in Naderi. If they talk about him, and I'll say to Derek, for one reason, I'm very much against these people say, oh, we signed a striker, but he can play wide right and he can play wide left. I would rather have a striker who is a striker, and if I'm not playing Gaffer, I'm on the bench because I want to be scoring goals. I want to be that number 9. Maswanhise, for me, needs space. I said it before. I know he scored a lot of goals, but people don't respect Motherwell and Rangers, and that's not being disrespectful in any shape or form. You're not turning up to play Rangers as a Celtic, where you're already preparing defensively.
Right.
And the teams are coming. Celtic and Rangers are going to come at you. There's a lot of space in behind.
People lie deep.
Yeah, and he'll run. When you're playing against Celtic or Rangers, predominantly teams are banked. And that's what they don't want you to get in there.
So you've got no space.
And I'm no disrespect to the kid, but I think Rangers needed a number 9, and I think they've done very well by all accounts. If they've bought a proper striker, I think they've got enough wide players.
Derek, what do you feel? You obviously like Maswanhise and think he would work out.
I think he would have created a lot of chances at Rangers from the wider areas. I think Rangers are still lacking a creative player to win the Championship.
So do you feel that you're going to fall short because of that?
I think they'll fall against Hibs on Sunday, games like that, the tight games. I think Rangers will fall short this season. If Rangers didn't sign a proper creative player and a striker, they wouldn't win the Championship. I'll stand by that. I took loads of abuse last week off friends and other people for it, but I stand by it, yes. I said it on this station.
You did.
I thought Celtic were still the favourites, and I stand by that.
And you're Rangers daft, but you're always really...
See, on that, Paul, see a couple of chances. I know Olsen didn't play particularly well at the weekend, but a couple of chances he created, and this boy's 6'4" or whatever that they've just signed, the balls that's going in the box, he's been playing games. I think if he gets that service, because Olsen can go either way, and I think he'll be a creative force once he gets, obviously, the game legs. I think the European game was a big blow for him not being able to play in it, to get a couple of more minutes in it. I think there's definitely a player. I think he could be a creative force.
I think people look at the weekend and say, Rangers never scored, they need a striker. But how many chances did they create for the strikers?
Very few.
I can hardly remember a ball coming in with great pace into the box, striker having to get across anyone. Now, I get there's a part to play for a striker in that, obviously, but you're looking at people like Asgard again at the weekend. It's just, you could tell he's got talent, he's wonderful on the ball, just something quite not there.
Do you think that's confidence in his case, or... What do you think?
I'm not sure, because he goes away with Norway and he's scored a few goals and whatever. I think obviously the Scottish style of football is different. It's going to be different from where he's played before. But you're looking for more for players like that. Two things. Here's the manager speak about the midfield, the options. Derek, let's hear what he said.
Yeah, I think we signed with Tochi straight a next one into. We expect that Connor's back in 2 weeks. Not 2 weeks would be fantastic, but it will be more 4 weeks, hopefully, but you never know. We have at the moment 3 midfielders with Dio, Nico and Tochi. I think that gives us a good balance. In the midfield, we were still open and we look to the market, but sometimes it's about timing. But at the end, we are convinced that with this group we can go forward. I have different options now. I think also in front to play sometimes with 2 strikers could be option now with 2 number 10s in behind. I think we have a lot of options. I'm very convinced that we have a good group together now. I think.
What did you think on Sunday, Derek? I know you'd be disappointed. Away from home, Hibs, they've been so iffy. You know, their performances, they can leak goals, and they just couldn't score.
I thought Rangers gave them too much respect. I think he picked the wrong team. I don't think Asgard should have played. I think Diamande should have started that game. I think he's more suited to the away games, Diamande, and I think he picked the wrong team. But there's a long way to go. There'll be twists and turns along the way. It's not good if sometimes I can't see some of the games, Paul. I can't get to some of the games. It's a bit of a nervous anxiety in these buses right enough, Paul.
I don't know how you feel.
Michael, the Rangers fan last night, was worried. Listen, what about the readiness of the new striker, Naderi?
The good thing is that he played regular a lot of minutes in the last couple of weeks. I think this is in January. Always the big question mark. Some players, they need 2-3 weeks to come really to the point, and we know this. And he played on the weekend 90 minutes. He played before he scored, and I think this is fantastic because it gives him straight the opportunity. Put him on, be available for the next game. Tomorrow we will see. We have to do some documents. If this everything is sorted, then should be not a question mark that he is available. And I think when I was talking to him, I felt straight the fire. And the good thing is, I know the club Hansa Rostock a little bit better than you. You have also there 25,000, 30,000 crazy fans, and that helps to prepare him for our place, and this is what I like to see him. Now he's a smart guy, a young guy, high potential, and now we have 3 players in front. And for me it's now bring them together, find a good shape where they can play sometimes with 2 strikers, sometimes with 1 striker. I think that depends, but it gives me more options now, and this is great to see.
Well, Derek, you'd be hoping he's ready for the game tomorrow night with Killie. Do you fancy your team at home?
Yes, they should beat Kilmarnock. I think that might be a hard game like Dundee was. That I think Kilmarnock will sit in. Here's hope maybe Aberdeen might do us a favour, but I doubt that.
Aberdeen do Rangers a favour. Are you?
Easy, Derek. Come on.
Does Peter think Celtic will be bought over at the end of the season?
Don't you start shouting.
Sorry,
again.
that's a great question. Does Peter think? That's terrible.
Once
It's gonna
in a
get
blue
me.
moon.
Sorry, Derek.
Does Peter think Celtic will get bought over at the end of the season?
Bought over.
Bought over. Take over.
Bought over. Take over.
Ka-ching.
I'm not 100% sure. I think the only one, Dermot Desmond, if the way the seasons went and the criticism that's coming, and the fans don't seem to be giving up on that. So it may be one of these situations or he digs in, gets a new manager, waits to see how things go from there. I mean, there'll be a load of questions he'll be sitting back. It doesn't matter if you've got all the money in the world. If you're not enjoying it, that's the way it seems to be. The fans don't seem to be enjoying the boarding. I could only think from a personal point of view, if I'm sitting as a board member, I wouldn't be enjoying going to the games at this moment in time because of the criticism. And as I said, you want the fans on side all the time. You want the players to be getting that support for the terracing, which they always do. But it's not nice. As I said, I'd been there many years ago, so it's not nice. So I haven't a clue on that one, But listen, it's like anything else. You buy Celtic or Rangers, you know what you're buying. You're buying something special, and that is. I don't think there's many places in the world you can buy into that and feel
the passion.
the passion of the supporters and what it means to them.
Derek, what's your 3-2-1 then for the title? Who's going to come third? What do you feel? Windows shut now. What do you reckon? Oh, are we never going to know? Have we lost it? Come on, Derek. Who's going to be third?
I'll say Celtic, Rangers first.
There you are.
That's what I'm hoping for, Paul.
And you can chat to your pals again.
Celtic's not bright enough.
Derek, thanks so much for your call. Cheers, Derek.
Cheers, Derek.
Drive safely. News is next, and then we're back after this.
We want to keep winning. St Mirren looking for a home win. I've not had a win in a while. I think you're probably going back to the cup final. I'm not quite too sure on that.
But sure, you're right.
It's been a difficult time for them. They want to pull themselves away from Kilmarnock, who got a big win at the weekend. So, big game.
Peter, what are you feeling about it? Hearts, I see, have been signing players as well quite early in the window, but they're continuing to invest. There's been a lot of chat there about Rangers, about Celtic. But Hearts in a pretty... And I suppose the biggest problem for them is Cammy Devlin being out and the top scorer, Lawrence Shankland.
Yeah, but what they do well, Hearts don't change the way they play, Paul. So they're not going to St Mirren and they need to change the way they play. They don't go to Tannadice and think, well, we need to change the way we play. So they go everywhere. The players know exactly what they're doing. They maybe go to a back 5 if they're winning. But by that, they'll put crosses in your box. They'll put set plays in your box. They're very good at getting that first contact. So their game doesn't change. It'll be up to St Mirren to produce a performance, which I'm sure, I listened to Stevie earlier in the season, he said his performances were good, but they weren't getting the results. I'm not sure their performances have been that good, and they've not been obviously getting the results, and that makes it a little bit more difficult. And obviously bringing that confidence to your players when you're not winning games as a manager is very difficult. But this is a sort of game that the elements tonight, cold, wet, windy, that could be one of these things that suits St Mirren. There's going to be an atmosphere there, so with all the Hearts fans there. So as a game, it's going to be tough for them, but I'm still going to take Hearts to win the game.
You?
Yes.
Because St Mirren are only on 20 points after 23 games. It's really poor. Killie just 3 points behind them after the 24, and Livy on 11. For Hearts, my goodness, that would be 13 games for them to go, and another win, then they go into 57 points. And sometimes you can get that gap, Jamie, which is almost impossible. It's not impossible, but almost impossible to narrow. So Hearts can maybe have a slip up or two, because that's just not happened really so far, apart from the Rangers game.
Yeah, I'm sure if you're Hearts, you'll be wanting to get as far ahead of Rangers and Celtic as you possibly can. It doesn't matter if there's games in hand or not. You want to be leading. You want people to chase you. It's definitely better that way. I mean, being the team that chases you, in your head, you're thinking if we slip up here, we're going to be 6 points behind, 9 points behind, whatever it is. And that's what Hearts have got to do. They've got to go out and win every game in front of them. Will they win tonight? I'm not sure. I think you might see a better St Mirren tonight.
See, on that, Paul, Hearts have got the advantages of everything here. Rangers and Celtic still in the Cup. Celtic still in Europe. Hearts are always playing first predominantly. And I said that to you.
That's
when
like the
Celtic were
Saturday
doing
games.
Yeah, when Celtic
You
were in the
hated the
Champions
Sunday
League.
games, didn't you?
It was unbelievable, Paul, the difference. And you can sense it. Hearts played Saturday night. They'd already the 3 points in the bag. Then Rangers go in. They drop. So Hearts are delighted. Then they're looking at Celtic Falkirk. You're sitting back. You've already got your 3 points. And it is massive. Not only with the players, but the supporters. And I sent you something last week, if you remember, about Arsenal. And they're saying about Arsenal supporters, can they cost them the league? I keep going back to it. That is the thing that Hearts have got a little bit of advantage because they've already got the points. Like the other evening there, as I said, they had the 3 points. So they go tonight, they go at extra points in front, even though Celtic and Rangers have got the catch-up games tomorrow. But Hearts have already done the business, if that's the case. On the flip side of that is if they lose tonight and Celtic and Rangers cut it back tomorrow and it's down to 3 points, then it becomes slightly different. There becomes a nervousness. And that has a massive effect, please believe me, not just the games.
Thomas, the Hibs fan, who listens as he sometimes after work is strolling around. I think that was at the weekend. He was catching up on Friday's show. He said he enjoyed it. Great to hear you, Thomas. Hope things are going well there. What about the Kieran Bowie money? That was good money, surely, for Hibs. Peter, what's your take on it?
No, I thought it was brilliant money because I said to you, if I was a Celtic Rangers, I'd have paid $3.5 million maximum. And then I said, but Hibs will probably want 6 or something. And this was many months ago. Sure as fate, they seem like it's 6 or 7, going up to 8, actually. So it's fantastic money. And I hope the young man goes and does very well. You know, that you hope he goes and being as a success. But yeah, again, it's another young Scot going away. I've no problem with the fact it's going to the Serie A because I think then it's very difficult for players to knock back that league win against that type of quality, even though he's in a struggling team.
It's amazing, isn't it, how many of them are going over there. I see Hibs have landed the Croat striker Ante Suto to replace Kieran Bowie, and Felix Paslak, maybe playing to the crowd, but he said he gets goosebumps when he hears sunshine on Leith. One of my favourites. I didn't know that the late great Sir Sean recorded it. Exactly. So the wing back is on the 3-day deadline. He's one of 3 signings, so we don't know too much about these players. Felix Paslak, or you do?
Good pedigree. Good. Dortmund.
Yeah.
Played Dortmund for a while. Played obviously Champions League.
Well done, Jamie.
I don't know what age he is now, but certainly back in the day, I think he was right back, right winger. Definitely on the right hand side somewhere. But going back to Kieran Bowie, sorry, I seen the manager just got sacked.
Right.
He just signed him. One day later, the manager's gone. So it's a bit of an uncertainty for him there, but it's not the best start.
But you find that, Paul, over there. The managers don't sign the players.
Of course. It's the football club. Yeah.
It's a football club. We'll bring in the manager. You just coach them.
And they've also signed the Zimbabwean defender Manashe Garananga from FC Copenhagen. Give us his background, please. Courtney, you did really well. You did so well. That was why I said that. But good game knowledge there. You'll be a coach in the future, won't you?
I know a little bit.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, if he's coming from Copenhagen,
Of course.
Been excellent.
Yeah, Champions League club. I know, not
a big period of time, you know. So
that's true.
He's in there, so he must have some talent. There's no doubt of that.
Indeed. El Yunusi, of course, went over there as well. Headlines for Rangers is the $4.5 million, I think, or $4.75 million for the German striker Ryan Naderi. And we'll hear more from Danny Röhl. What are you thinking, Rangers fans? Ahead of the game tomorrow night, Rangers against Kilmarnock. I was just saying last night, will they go the right way? Jamie, looking at you when Neil McCann turns up and Billy Dodds, because it's only months ago when they were in the dressing room back at the home team.
I think Danny Röhl said it there. They'll be looking to impress their Kilmarnock team. I'm sure Neil McCann would have thought maybe they were in with a chance of the job in the summer, him and Barry obviously, but they've not got it. So you want to go back and you want to prove yourself. You want to prove that you're good at your job and good at what you're doing, and they certainly were at the weekend. And
they did so well against Aberdeen. Aberdeen are the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde show in Scottish football. Would that be fair, Peter?
I think there's no doubt in that, Paul. But talking about Billy and Neil, both of them are very good coaches, but both have been managers as well. And they'll know what to use at this moment in time with the Kilmarnock boys. That's a fantastic result. And I think they've got better players than the results have had Kilmarnock if they do the system to suit the players they have. I don't think they've always done that. I think they've got big players up front. If you service them, you're going to get goals from them. And a couple of their goals at the weekend were excellent. Aberdeen were very poor, don't get me wrong. But I think they'll do a fantastic job. And it's probably the type of people, because they've got so much passion for the game, the two of them, you know, that rubs off on their players. they'll know exactly what's expected of them, and if they're not doing it, they'll know exactly that as well. And sometimes you need that, Paul. Sometimes you need to get in there and ruffle it. And see, when you get to ruffle it and you're winning games, it makes a hell of a difference. So I still fancy Rangers strongly tomorrow evening.
Yes.
But it's not about playing Rangers Kilmarnock. It's the rest of the games that they're going to be playing with the teams all round about them for Kilmarnock. For Rangers, it's a big game, but I see Rangers winning against Kilmarnock.
And we're going to talk Motherwell shortly. They play tomorrow night, as you know, at Dundee. I mean, Motherwell, phenomenal. Only 5 points off Rangers and Celtic near the top of the table. Hearts at the top. Let's get back to the signings then. Martin O'Neill speaking about the loanees that came in last night.
Well, I think the first thing is this, that if you're talking about differentiating between quality and numbers, we need people in because we can pick up injuries and suspensions after the transfer window, which is last night. That's it over. So whatever squad you have, that's it, unless you pick somebody else up on who's been out of contract. So from that viewpoint, it's fine. It's nice to get a few people in different positions. And what do I think they can add? I think they can help. I think they can help in the manner in which I think that that the two new arrivals who have played some games for us have done really fine. Just happy with them, and if the rest of them can make a sort of contribution, then I would be delighted.
So I wonder what the team is going to look like, Peter. I'm just throwing this at you. I'm not asking for the whole team just now. Chavanchara, I take it you're liking him. He got his goal at the weekend.
Well, I thought he came in for a little bit of criticism at Hearts. I think he didn't deserve. I thought he'd done well considering it was his first game. But yet again, the problem was he's not up to speed. You could see that again at the weekend. But I would like to see Celtic at times playing with the two strikers. I say that would help him as well, because I think he could play in a player. He's one of the ones that sometimes you look at a striker and think, oh, I'm not so sure. But you think he could mix it up with someone up there.
Do you think Martin will change it up?
I think he could end up, Iniacho could play up there with him. One of the new signings could play up there with him.
How did he look when he came on? I know
Iniacho's a good player, Paul, if he's fit.
Sure.
He just
How did he look?
Just a bit rusty, what you expect. You know, the St Mirren game in the cup final was the last time he played, really, in the respect. In that game, he was excellent till he went off injured. But that is the problem you're going to have. And I think Martin's done that in that respect. He's looked at these guys and thought, hold on a minute, we've got to be careful here. We're picking up injuries too many times in the same area of the field. And that's why I think Rangers are slightly ahead in the respect that they've bought a striker, and Danny Röhl talked on it, that he's playing games of football. And he doesn't need to get him up to speed or whatever. He's playing matches and he's come in, he's playing confident because he scored goals.
We'll talk Rangers in a second, but on Celtic, Martin O'Neill was asked about, it's not actual transfer signings, it's loan deals.
Well, let's just get back to the point I've said to you here for the last 3 or 4 weeks. We had, for instance, we had a deal set up with Frosinone for the lad coming in, and he chose to stay. That's entirely his decision to make. He wanted to see if Frosinone can get into the Premier League. A really fine player, and that's it. So everything is sorted. So those things happen. They happen in the game. It happens from the 1st of January. It happens in the 24th, and it happens later on. So that does happen. It's happened every single time. So you can have things set up. You can be thwarted, as I said to you. Some players that we were in for have gone for I wouldn't call bigger clubs, but probably pretty big money and stuff like this here. So who doesn't?
Jamie Murphy, Arnie Engels, they were offered 25 million. He stays. Do you think that's going to be significant for Celtic trying to defend the title?
I think if they weren't going to get a replacement, and then it's probably the right thing to do. Yes, if you're looking at it in a business way, a business sense, you're thinking probably accept it. But Celtic are going for the title, as they should be, and that's clearly the reason why. But just while we're talking about it, I love how Martin O'Neill just tells the truth about transfers.
He does, doesn't he?
There's not many do it anymore.
Sure.
He's telling the fans exactly what happened. We had the player, he didn't want to come, so immediately the fans are back on his side. Oh, well, shouldn't be coming then. So, yeah, it's great to hear a manager talk like that.
What about Engels? How will he be? Will there be a huff going on? I don't think there will be. He was asked today. What's Arnie Engels feeling after hearing the news?
No, I think that his agent was happy enough with the situation. He said that this is it. I think Arnie's happy here. He wants to see what the season will bring at the end. Listen, we end up with nothing. We could get knocked out against Stuttgart in 2 games. We could get knocked out against Dundee on Sunday, and we could lose tomorrow night. So that is very feasible. It can happen. We're chasing down. What I wanted to do, and I just reiterate, I wanted some players in here that could maybe help us, and I think that they will. I think that they can do.
Okay, there's a bit of mind games going on there, Martin. What about what do you feel, Peter? He is good at just sort of takes the drama out of it, doesn't he? Just says, you know.
But that's what I'm saying, Paul, about the experience he's got, and he's right, because I think that's the sort of way that should be spoken in the summertime as well. When Brendan was there, if they went in for players and didn't get them because they wanted to stay or wanted to move on, or the clubs were asking too much money, I think that's all the fans were asking for. We've been out to get this type of quality, we can't get it. We've offered that X, Y and Z amount of money. They want to go elsewhere or they want to stay at the clubs. Fine. Then people understand that. It's if you just sit there with your mouth shut as if you're not interested. And I know that's not the case. You know, that they've been trying to get players in and whatever. I understand that. Martin's brilliant at keeping the press on side. That's his experience for you. He knows how to settle things down. Arne Engels, for me, maybe be sitting disappointed. Not because of anything else. He might be sitting there thinking, his wages probably get trebled, even losing very good money at Celtic. So I'm sure the agent would have been saying, oh, this is a big move for him. But if I was telling him, I don't think he'd have played under Sean Dyche. I've known Sean a long, long time. I've played against his teams, coached against his teams at X, Y and Z. He wouldn't have played because he wants that physicality, that competing. I think Arner's a very good player, but if you look at Nottingham Forest's midfield at this moment in time, I think that's a signing that they've probably looked at and thought, statistics. And that's the difference. If Sean Dyche would watch Arne with his own eyes, he wasn't paying £25 million for him. I'm a big Arne Engels supporter, I must admit. But for me, Nottingham Forest wasn't the team for him.
So a better move for him maybe in the summer.
That's up to him.
We'll find out, of course.
That's up to him. He's got to go and perform.
Guys, there's Billy's on asking, what did you make of Arsenal wanting James Wilson, the hard striker? He's not playing, we know that. He's 18, but he's been capped by Scotland. Arsenal wanted him to come for a trial, so Tottenham have nipped in and they've agreed a summer fee. So he's on loan just now and he's set to go for £2.5 million. Jamie, what did you think about that?
It's a little bit different. I mean, it's not quite how things are normally done. Usually the player establishes himself and they'll go signing a permanent. But to go on a loan, basically, to Tottenham under 21s or 23s, I'm not quite sure what it was. But yeah, a little bit different. But I get it. He's not played at Hearts. I would have guessed he was wanting to get to the World Cup in the summer, but is it going to happen if you're playing just for the 21s at Tottenham every week? I'm not sure.
Bit disrespectful, I thought, as well, though, of Arsenal. Am I being naive, Peter, that they thought he could come on trial?
Oh, 100%.
Come on.
You know, listen, you just need to see the player playing. And you don't go and spend, somebody spends £2 million on him. I mean, don't get me wrong, Paul, that's a drop in the ocean to these clubs down south.
I know.
You know, they're, as I said to you many times, and that is, listen, we're talking about Celtic and Rangers. We'd be paying that for a player, for the first team. They're doing that for a guy in under 21s.
Yes, sure.
That's the problems that Celtic and Rangers have. Sure. And the wages go along with that, Paul. I think he's a talented boy. He wasn't going to look under Derek, to be perfectly honest with you. I like his movement. He's quick. He wants to be on that back line. But yet again, I was just talking to Jamie off air. He could end up at Northampton on loan. And that would be a concern for me.
Why?
Because Jamie will tell you the ball gets booted right on the pitch.
Yeah.
Tough
playing
leagues,
against the
tough
big
leagues.
centre halves.
Yeah.
There's no football whatsoever. And you're living off scraps.
Yes.
And you're playing against guys that's probably, and I mean, 30 years of age.
Yeah.
But you go down there and you look at centre halves in the lower division, they've all played. They've all been round the block. And okay, people say that'll toughen up, but I think you'll lose his quality, because his quality is his movement and getting on the end of passes. So that'd be a concern for me.
I'm sure it's not Mikel Arteta, but it wasn't lost on me that he played for Rangers at 17? And he played in the Premier League or the Premiership, whichever we were calling it. And he was a fine young player. You could tell he's going to be amazing. And there's his club, Arsenal, apparently saying, oh, bring a Scotland international player, French player on loan. Thought it was a little bit cheeky, but it's their prerogative. What about the Rangers squad at the moment? So we've been looking at Celtic there. What about the Rangers squad depth, given the signings with Chikwani, Skov Olsen, Romans? Here's the manager.
Nearly on every position now a double up. And it's not clear on every position who is the starter and who is the hunter, if you want. I think this is great. We need this challenge. I think we need exactly this challenge now in the second half of the season, that we increase our performance. For me, we showed that we increased the quality in the squad. and with this, we should go forward now.
Right. Ryan Naderi is, of course, part of it, Jamie, and we're looking forward to seeing him. Chukwueze is one that I think they're pinning quite a lot on to help Rangers towards that title.
Yeah, he was steady at the weekend. I'm not going to say he was brilliant, but he won the ball back. He gave it to other players to go forward. He was that sitting midfielder, let Raskin go forward a little bit more. I think that's probably what he's going to do. But you look at Rangers centre midfield and you would say it's pretty strong at the minute. You've got 4 players that I think could probably play in that kind of sitting midfield role. Raskin, Diomande, Chukwueze and Barron when he comes back. He'll certainly be in there. He's been excellent before he got injured, which was a blow to Rangers. But, you know, you could play any of the 4 in the centre mid and they'd be doing well. So he's talking about 2 players for every position there. Sometimes I think you've got to be a little bit careful with that. I know you want the option, but you've still got to keep everyone happy. I know you want to be out there, fight for your place, but from what I've been through and from what I've seen from others, players are happy when they're number 1 choice. If you know you're not maybe going to play here or there, you get a little bit of doubt in your head, so that's just something to be aware of.
Good point, Peter, isn't it? You know, you don't want too many players not playing and you can't be happy.
Well, I always said to you, Paul, people used to say about squads, I said, yeah, as long as I'm between 1 and 11, you know what I mean? You don't want to be on the bench. And listen, Rangers don't need to change it now because they've only got the Scottish Cup and the league to go for. That's what I'm saying about Hearts. They've only got the league to go for. So you don't need to change it. You can keep the same players all the time. I still think Rangers, if I said anything, they've missed one position with centre-back.
Which one? Yeah. Most people thought they would bring somebody
I thought
in.
they'd bring definitely a centre-back. And you've seen it at the weekend again. John Sutton, you know I'm a big fan of John Sutton's. I think he struggled a little bit. You see the chance he gave up. Fernandes does the exact same thing. They give chances away to you. He thinks I don't think he's a better player than he is. If you ever see a defender dribbling, he's made the wrong choice.
He's very relaxed.
Exactly. Sure. And I just think that could be costly, and it's a small detail. But I think if Rangers would have got a centre-back in, I'd have definitely said I thought they could go and win the league if they'd got a centre-back in.
Jamie?
I think there's Cornelius done well when he first came in. Right. I think he's one that they're missing. I think the left-footed left centre-half, I think he'll come in and play. That's my thoughts on it. I'm not the manager, I'm not whatever, but from watching all the defenders that Rangers have had, I think probably Suter and Cornelius are probably your preferred partnership.
And what about the changes that he made at the weekend? I mean, there's something about Rangers going away from home. Listen, was it 8 wins on the trot league-wise? And then obviously the European thing changed that. But what happens away from home? Look, Hibs are a good team, but an inconsistent team. Do you think they did give them too much respect, Jamie?
I'm not sure.
No.
I obviously watched the game. I thought Hibs defensively were excellent. I thought they got Rangers to a certain point and countered on them. Martin Boyle and Yuan playing up front into the channels. They caused Rangers a few problems. He did, There was a few headers back post. Boyle had a one-on-one with the goalie. So Hibs played well. Can Rangers do better? Yeah. But Rangers' most creative player was John Suter. Most of the chances came from John Suter putting the ball over the top to a run or a through pass or whatever. But you just need to find that little bit of spark away from home. When games are tight, that could be the difference between winning and losing.
Hibs, Peter, as you know, 6 attempts on goal, Rangers just 2. Now, I know it's away from home, but Easter Road, what do you think?
I sent to Derek's earlier on when he spoke about Diomande. I think he should have played. I genuinely do. Because of the way Rangers want to play, I still think they give up chances. If you play Diomande, there's less chances. It happened at Celtic Park when he played. But also what he does, he runs forward. And I hope the manager convinces, well, I hope he doesn't, but Raskin is that type of midfield player that I think he's got to be released to go forward. He keeps convincing, as I said, we spoke about with Barry, he thinks he's a number 6. Now Chukwuane's come in there. That should be his role. Then let Diomande, let Raskin run forward to support that one striker if they're doing that. But now they've got the big talisman up front, seemingly 6'3" or 4. You know, so they could go with 2 strikers. And I think that's going to be important to them.
So they might do that.
They might do that now.
So Celtic could be doing it, and Rangers.
Absolutely. And Paul, you're seeing it a lot more now. You're seeing it a lot more now. The two are going to back up with a 2 up, whether it's a midfielder or that extra one. It used to be a striker that could drop in. A lot of clubs have went with a midfielder that can go and support. I think it's getting nearer again that 2 number 9s but 1 drop in. And for me, I hope that's the case, because I think too many times the balls come in the box and there's not enough bodies in the box. You know, when balls break off defenders. And I think it's easier for defenders now.
Can we get back to big man, little man? Long diag mark, Alan McCoy.
Exactly. It's a take that job, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Back for good. We'll be back after this. The Switch every night of the week. Monday to Friday, we're on talking football from 5 o'clock and bringing you the odd news story as well. And sometimes it's true. No, Peter, we never go into the speculation, or if we do, we say, well, look, this is where it's come from. The trusted sources, the many good journalists out and about in all different outlets.
A lot of your stories have been
hard.
right, Paul.
Thank you.
I'd say 95%
really
have came
yeah.
to fruition. No, because I think we're fair enough.
Oh, we do try to be fair. Of course we are.
I think we're fair enough when we say we'll not throw something out there. It's just for a man to get it. Absolutely. We'll just, unless it's near enough guaranteed, we'll not say nothing.
Yeah. And the pundits that we have know the game. And Jamie, look at you. You're in at the sharp end just now. Still playing, but injured. Back soon, maybe. I know you can't give too much away, but the groin injury.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Is it something you would like to do? No. Get full-time a manager, coach, head coach?
I think so at some point, yeah. I think I certainly experienced a lot. I've experienced a lot of managers. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Usually they were going to pastures new, but yeah, and Nigel Clough, even back at the start, Terry Butcher, Maurice Malpass, people like
course,
that.
Yeah. Wow.
I've had the new style, Jim Gannon, new style of football he was trying to play. So I feel like I've experienced a lot. I've seen what not to do a lot of times.
Okay.
That's part of it.
And of course you modestly left out, he's kind of well known, Steven Gerrard at Rangers.
Yeah. Great player, joined in training as well. You could still see, you could still play. But that's just that mentality from Gerrard, the winning mentality. I know people will say he didn't win too many trophies up here, but you could see it in him every day. And I think you take the good bits away from everybody.
Did you get to know him, do you think?
Not quite. He wasn't quite that kind of manager. He was more staff and players. They were sitting at the table over there. We would sit over here, have our food or whatever. Whereas I've played under Jack Ross, who could come and sit at me at the table and have a chat about what you done last night or what your plans were for the weekend. Just that more personal approach. And again, every manager's different, so it's taking the good bits off of all of them.
There's so many different styles. I always remember when Big Derek Johnson was just finishing at Rangers. He didn't realise he was, and it was a Glasgow Cup game, Peter. You may have played in it. It was a Friday night. I was going in. Richard Park and I arrived. That was it. And I said to him, have you spoken to the manager? He said, yeah, I have actually. What did he say? You're freed. And as soon as, he made up his mind, he was changing it. We then found out who he brought in, and the Rangers revolution happened then. But managers come in different shapes and sizes, and the big characters are... Often it's hard for really good players to be really good managers, but Graham Souness had a really impressive record at Rangers and at Liverpool and at Blackburn.
The secret was with Graham when he came to Rangers, he bought top quality players.
Sure.
And Graham would obviously be the boss man. He had a fantastic coach in Walter. When he brought Walter in, that was probably his best signing out of them all.
What a move, wasn't it? Because Walter was in with the bricks at Dundee United.
But you can talk about all the players you want. Walter was a massive signing, probably the biggest.
And people might not know younger ones. I mean, he was in there with Jim McLean, wasn't he? He was the number 2 to Jim McLean, long-term deal, and you thought, oh my goodness.
Well, I worked under Walter and Archie Knox and all that with Scotland.
Yes.
Through it. And I knew they were passionate about the game, but the demands were incredible. But when you've got top quality players, which Rangers had at that time, they're signing the Butchers, you signed the Stevens, Trevor Stephen, Gary Stephen, all these guys, top quality. Then you've the Gascoignes later on.
Sure.
But if you'd allowed drops, managing these players becomes easy because they're top quality, so they know what to expect of you. But the demands of Rangers are slightly different as they are at Celtic, so it takes a different type of character. It's the things round about it, not the football field. I'm sure Graham Souness, if we sat here, said he enjoyed the training ground, the training pitch more than he enjoyed everything else round about it, because that's where you lose yourself and coach the players and hopefully give them that knowledge.
On coaching, are you saying that the better the player, in general, the easier they are to handle?
Yeah, because the demands they put on you, Paul, because everything you do, they want a reason behind it, really. I found that with the likes of, I was fortunate enough to work with the Sheringhams, Tevez, Tevez, Mascherano, you name them. You had them all. They just went out. Tevez didn't want to do a warm-up, or Sheringham and that were brilliant. Tevez went up, couldn't ball, but you threw the ball down, and he was like a Tasmanian devil. So you've got to understand that.
Did you ever challenge him on that, or just say no and you go?
No, because the good thing for me, Paul, I thought when we were at West Ham, I thought maybe he was, I don't mean belittling it, because he was brilliant in training, but I'm talking about the warm-up for the guy who was doing the warm-ups and whatever. But went up to Manchester United, and he was the exact same.
Right.
It was the exact same. So I like that didn't bother their backside about they're doing the first bit. But once the ball came out, they knew that 100% he would give, and what a player he was. But I was fortunate enough to learn. You learn from players, you learn from managers, you learn from coaches, all these things, and you've got to take them in because there will be good and bad. Of course there is, and there's different circumstances.
Who did you learn most from, or as a couple of the names would you say? I'm not trying to get the Peter Grant's number one coach or manager that you learned from, but some of the names you worked with.
I think it was working against them, Paul. You learned more.
All right, trying to pit your wits again.
Right, like say, you're playing against Benitez, for instance.
Yes.
We always played with one.
So were you Norwich at that point, or you West Ham?
I was West Ham.
West Ham, right.
And I said to him after why he played with Javi Alonso and Javi Mascherano, because Javi left to go there. And he said the reason why he played with two sitters was because teams predominantly play a very good number 10 who's usually their best player. Who's usually their best player. But he said if one midfielder's playing in there and he gets dragged towards the ball, the number 10 is so cute he'll cause you a problem with staying away from the ball. He said so he felt having the two in there. Simple things. And then I was obviously speaking to the Robbie Keanes and the Craig Bellamy's and that, and they said to me, it was a nightmare being a striker when you were at Liverpool under Rafa. Right. Because all he done was work defensively. You know, but for me as a coach looking to see what the difference between us playing ones and him playing twos, his substitutions. You know, when he put them on, if they were winning, it was 6 to 8 minutes. If it was losing, it was 72 minutes. He put a big, tall striker on. You know, all these things. You'd look at his bench. I would look at his bench, actually, prior to the match to see that's the subs he's going to make at this particular time. And sure as fate, you could near enough write it. That was a sub.
Was that a good thing or a bad thing? Because it was good for you to.
Yeah, but that's what I was learning from them. I was fortunate enough that Mourinho's, Ericsson's, all these guys, I was in when they were all coaching there. And I'd coached against them all and managed against them all. So I was very fortunate. I was watching them when I was doing it. I mean, it was nearly 25 years.
And what about Sir Alex then? What was that like coming up against him?
But his
teams?
His teams, I remember we played really well.
You West Ham at this point?
We were West Ham.
West Ham, yeah.
Was it West? Yes. Yeah. No, it wasn't. West Bromwich Albion, one of the games, but Tony was the manager.
Okay, you and Tony Mowbray.
7, 8 minutes, Paul. We were 0-0, and we were playing excellent. And we had a wee Spanish boy playing us. And he was
at the Hawthorns?
I know. Old Trafford.
Old Trafford.
And we think we're doing brilliant. We think, and we are playing brilliant.
Just 12 minutes to go.
12 minutes to go. It's 0-0, but we're playing excellent. We get a corner. Man United score. Ronaldo picks it up, runs, puts it in, and Rooney scores. They ran so quick away from his Paul, it was unbelievable. 2 minutes later, we're 2-0 down. Their corner again. And it was just, they had that belief
from your
that
corner.
the quality players, but the quality players, Sir Alex managed them. When you went to watch him at the training ground, he was unbelievable with 8 players. Top quality players, giving their maximum. That was the biggest thing I learned. When you went to see the top players playing and coaching, getting coached, they wanted to be the best. Because they've got that ego against each other. And that was
so in the same team, but they
wanted to be the best.
Gigs.
Yes, I want to be the best. And Sir Alex is managing that, just talking to them as they're going off the side, doing this. And it was all these coaches that probably were doing the coaching. Sir Alex would go over and talk to somebody's ear or whatever, and then you see wee things changing. And it was all these things, but it was massive learning for me, watching. And
keen and all that.
You're always watching it all the time. And I think then I was fortunate enough, I was in a time when all these top quality managers were there for a period of time. That's different now because you're only lasting 5 minutes now.
Did you ever have a barney with Roy Keane? I can imagine you two being fiery.
No, we're all right. He was a manager at Sunderland, I was a manager at Norwich, and he bought a player off me. And he phoned me to thank me.
Did he? Yeah.
I was like, thanks for taking my best player.
Jamie, it's like a masterclass. Isn't it brilliant that Peter has come up against all these just legends in the game? And I'm thinking of you in the future. You're enjoying it at the moment at coaching and playing at Ayr United. But if you come against managers of that calibre in the future, you've got a lot to learn and a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, it's brilliant listening to Peter just talk. I love all that stuff, hearing what other managers would do, talking about the timings, how they go down to every fine detail and when their subs are and that kind of thing. Like, I've only experienced it, obviously, as a player, playing against good sides. I played against Man City, a couple of teams like that when we were down there, and you can just tell the level. And they go places on the pitch that maybe if you're playing in the SPL or up here, that why is he going over there? And then they pass the ball 2 seconds later, it's in the back of the net. So it's great to hear all the off the pitch stuff because I feel like I've experienced a lot on the pitch. So it's maybe time to start learning about the rest of it.
A lot to look forward to. It's different though, Peter, isn't it? Football was your life. You know, obviously the young family, you and Lorraine with the boys.
Probably left at home for 15 years, Paul. Really, because you were on the road travelling. Once Peter went to high school, we made the decision that we'd have the house in Norfolk, but wherever I went with my job, that's what we'd do. And you have to be single-minded. What it gave me was a lot of time to watch other managers and watch other players, and that's why you know a lot of players. Jamie was a young. When I was even at Fulham as a 23s coach, Jamie was playing against us for Brighton and all these sort of things.
Good young talent, you could see it.
Boy, Golston come back just from his heart, if I'm right in that particular.
Yeah, we had a few players in that team. Rob Sanchez was in that team.
That's right. All these players, so you get to know them all, and that's why when Mikey Moore came to Rangers, I was surprised Rangers played him wide right.
Right.
Because when I seen him, he was predominantly centrally.
And you were right.
Yeah, he was probably more centrally because he liked to go and take people
Could
on
you
and
do
get a
some
shot at the
coaching
goal.
for Rangers?
No.
I mean, do you know the crazy thing is, though, you're not actually involved. It's great for us that you're here at 1 or 2 nights a week, but you're not at a football club because the experience you've got, but you don't.
That's life, you know.
I am amazed that nobody's come in.
I love being on the training ground. I still love being part of football. So hey, the door's always there.
What's the update on one of your players, Matt O'Reilly? Because people were talking about him in recent days, you know, with the Arnie Engels and the possibility of moving and all the rest of it. And there was chat about it. And he went to Brighton for, 25 million. He behaved so brilliantly. Started the season with Celtic, gave everything till the moment that he left and then went down there. And is he back at Brighton?
He's back at Brighton now, and I'm not sure he can go out. Maybe Jamie will clarify this. I don't think he can go to a third team, Paul.
Okay. No, I think that's stopped a couple of transfers.
Because if he went to Brighton, to Marseille, and then gone back. But it was funny, because Marseille had made big calls prior, a couple of weeks back. They're saying that they wanted to take Matt full time. So I thought, but De Zerbi, if you remember last week, handed in his resignation because they get beat 2-3-0. Sure. So whether it was a wee bit, it might have changed the sort of flow of it a little bit. But Matt's a top quality and a top kid as well. A wonderful player, magnificent for Celtic. And you're right, he handled himself ever so well. And a lot of players should look at that, the way he handled himself during that period.
Rabbi Matondo at Rangers, not playing much, but the manager said he is also a model professional and he probably can leave early.
You have still some windows in other countries open. I think this is a part, and then we will see what happens maybe the next 24 hours. It could be option. But by Rabbi, I must really say he is a very positive guy for the group. I think this is very crucial. I think you have players, they are disappointed and they can give not so much energy to the group when they are not playing, but Ravi is always very professional. His body is now right, and let's see what happens with him.
Think he'll go on to prove himself somewhere, do you reckon, Jamie? What did you make of Rabbi Matondo?
He had his moments, but in the main it's not been a great time for him at Rangers. Obviously the goal in the Old Firm is probably his highlight, but since that it's not really went up the way. So you would expect him to move on, whether it's now or the end of the season. It's going to be one of the two. You can hear the manager say there he's a good guy, which is great. He's not a detriment to the team being around him, so there's always that. But as a football player, you want to play, so that's what I'd be thinking in my head if I was him.
Jim Goodwin's not happy. Their appeals for the 2 red cards at the weekend have been thrown out. That and more after this. Paul Cooney with Peter Grant and also Jamie Murphy. Tomorrow night it's going to be Andy Walker who'll be here, along with James McPake. Looking forward to the games tonight. Team news coming in. It's just dropping now. I think that's the word, isn't it, Jamie, that you would say? Guess who's in goals for Hearts tonight? St Mirren against Hearts. Sholo, he's back in this evening. So the team is Sholo, he's back after the suspension. Halkett, Beningame, he's back as well. Braga, Kabori, Steinwender, Milne, Finlay, McEntee, Leonard and Kisaridis. On the bench, the international keeper Craig Gordon, who surely will lead us in the World Cup. Kent, McCart, Kabangu, Spittle, Magnussen, Altena, Kerj, Egu. So that's the lineup for Hearts. Reaction, Peter, I'll give you St Mirren in a moment. The goalkeeper?
No, well, he played him on Saturday night. He played him on Saturday night also, Paul. I was quite surprised at that because I think that was a big call with Derek, because I thought the fact that Craig Gordon got into the team, I thought that was a massive plus for him, because I think he's a better goalkeeper. I'm not being disrespectful. The goalkeeper's done nothing wrong, but Craig Gordon's better for me. And I'm surprised the manager played him up at Tannadice, and he's obviously kept him in. So fair play to Derek. He's made the choice. And I'd allow the Craig Gordon to stayed out the team when he was playing against Celtic, because he's a top quality goalkeeper.
Jamie, on the keeper, any view?
Craig Gordon's been great for so many years, and he never really does things wrong. So haven't watched a lot of the other goalkeeper, so it's hard to compare. But you've seen Craig Gordon save a couple of weeks ago when he digs out of nowhere, played well last week. Obviously lost his place, but you know, Derek McInnes, you can't argue with his decisions so far this season.
They've been so consistent. The St Mirren team tonight looking for the first win since the League Cup final. It's George in goals, Fraser the captain, King, Freckleton, Richardson and Phillips, Devaney, Gogic, John, Lundaloo and Mandron, Mikael Mandron wearing the number 9 on the bench. And Mullen the keeper, Tanzer, Soberwell, Donnelly, Campbell, McMenamin, Idowu, Calvin and Etete.
It'll be interesting to see if Derek lines up with a back three in it. And his ones, because he's changed his shape for a 4 and the 3s. And listen, he's one of these ones, he'll be thinking St Mirren want to defend crosses, all this sort of thing, but he's not going to change the way he plays in the respect of he's going to get the ball forward, as we said earlier on, Paul, make St Mirren defend, because when a team's not won, it doesn't matter how well maybe you think you're playing. If you've not won in a long time, the fans are edgy, and if you lose a goal early, it can be curtains, because there's nothing to lean on because you've not been winning games.
What do you think's happened there? Because they were so good early in the season, 3 years running, top 6, but at the moment they're they'd love to get back top 6, but it's getting away from the bottom 3, isn't it?
That's their big thing this season. They can't be in the bottom 2. St Mirren have been too good over the last couple of years to accept being down there. It'll be up against it tonight. Hearts will put it on them. Will be difficult to play against. But St Mirren need to figure it out. And they need to figure it out quickly.
What's your scoreline prediction, Jamie? What do you reckon?
I'll go for 2-1 Hearts.
2-1 Hearts. Peter, I'm just checking your script here.
I never read that off Peter's sheet.
2-1 Hearts. Right. So what about tomorrow night, Jamie, then? So what do you fancy? So Dundee against your old team Motherwell, where you are a legend. What do you reckon?
You'll be looking at a Motherwell win, I think. I think it'll be hard for Dundee, but up in Dundee, I'll go for 1-0 Motherwell.
You're going for 1-0. And Peter, I can see you're saying 2-0 Motherwell, Maswanhise to add to his, I'm imagining. Hibs, Dundee United, Jamie, your old club, what do you reckon?
I think it'll be difficult for Dundee United, that one. Hibs take a bit of confidence from their performance at the weekend, even though they never won. I'll go for 2-0 Hibs. 2-0.
Peter?
I've went 3-1 Hibs.
You're going 3-1 Hibs. For tonight, you're both going for Hearts?
2-1 Hearts.
2-1 Hearts.
2-1 Hearts.
So you're both saying on that one. Back to tomorrow night, we're going to hear from Martin O'Neill and Danny Röhl before the end of the show. Martin O'Neill looking forward to the Aberdeen game. In fact, let's do that now. It's interesting what he said about him going up to Aberdeen, and this isn't the Celtic squad he's giving you for tomorrow night, but he's speaking about some great Celtic names of the past.
I've gone up there with Lennon, Lambert, Petrov, Lako Larson. Never had an easy game. Never had an easy game. Aberdeen beat us one year as well too. So never had it easy there. So same thing again.
Never easy up there, he said. He's wily, isn't he?
I like the way he said that. He said that he went up with all lame. He said Aberdeen beat us once up there. Once.
Yeah. He does. He throws that in there as well.
But at the end of the day, hey, you would settle for that group of players. That's not the group of players that's going there tomorrow night.
Sure.
It's going to be a tough game. I know Aberdeen are going through, but he's 100% right. It's never easy in Pittodrie. I went up there when you thought, well, we'll do well. But if you're going to say the perfect time to get them, it probably is now, because they're in the back of a 3-0 loss. But
is Austin Trusty available again?
I think it was only a one game.
I think that's right. So
yes.
he'd be back in.
Yes.
So the Celtic lineup, what changes do you think he'll make with the newcomers coming in?
I think the only play. I think that is the wide players that he's got to look at. Paul, Yang's done very well for him. He's been positive. Whether he starts with Maeda is going to be interesting. Does he start with Maeda or Tonecti? That'd be the interesting one for me. I definitely think he'll go with I'll say Thomas, because I'm not sure on how you say his second name. Yeah. I think
Tonecti a bit off the boil at the moment.
Yeah, but I think he's one of these ones, Paul. I definitely think Celtic look a much better team when you've got wingers who can take people on and get the ball in the box.
Does he take on enough players?
Sometimes that's the frustrating thing with him. Sometimes he looks really exciting. See, when he came against Kilmarnock, and he's done it a couple of times. When he came against Kilmarnock, he went to the outside, and he'd done it when he came on at the weekend. He'd done it a few times. Where I don't think Maeda does that well in the way that I know he gives you 1,000,000% and everything else he does, but I just think you've got to take people on, because predominantly when you're playing for Celtic or Rangers, they defend the middle, so the spaces in the wide areas I'll tell you who's been really impressive as well, Paul. Röhl at right back.
Yeah, he's gone under the radar, hasn't he?
He's done very well.
Jamie, what do you make of him?
I thought he's done very well. He passes the ball forward. No, what he does, he's a right back, and see if his winger's free, gives him the ball.
Yeah.
Simple.
Jamie?
That's all you want as a winger.
Absolutely.
I played with Stevie Hamill. Every time he got the ball, he gave me it, and that's
Hamill to
exactly what
Murphy.
you want.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So they'll be the same. Obviously, it's different levels. But if you're a wide player and you know you've got that player that behind you, that when you're free, he's going to give you the ball and let you go one-on-one. That's perfect.
Lyle Cameron, of course, he could play a part tomorrow night.
I think he's a very good player, Paul. I think he was
Yeah.
very unfortunate at Rangers.
Yeah.
I thought what he did show was character at Rangers, and I think he showed that in his first game when he went to Aberdeen.
Yeah.
Because they're obviously not want old, they said old firm loans, if I remember the badge it said.
That's
they
right.
They should be fortunate. He was their best player, but he's playing under duress there, in that particular match, going up there to prove a point, and he'd done that very well. And I thought he'd done the exact same at Rangers up till he got the injury.
So what do you think tomorrow night, Aberdeen
I
Celtic?
went for Celtic 2-1.
2-1. Jamie?
Yeah, I can't see an Aberdeen win. I think Celtic under Martin O'Neill will be different from Nancy, clearly, but I think they'll go up there and win.
Let's think Rangers against Kilmarnock. Kilmarnock obviously buoyed by that result the other night. Danny Röhl was asked about the confidence at Rangers and about the title race. It's very much on.
I was prepared for this question, yeah, I'm honest to you. I think, I totally believe we can a lot of win games until the end of the season. But I can't give you the guarantee today that we win 14 games, because there's still an opponent. But I'm totally convinced that this group has everything to go forward in these final steps.
So he's being a bit canny there. Jamie, what's going to happen tomorrow night?
I think Rangers will go and win the game. I think it's always nervy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that point in the season where a couple of losses could put you out, as it did with Rangers under Clement, or a couple of wins can put you right up there. So I expect Rangers to go out and win tomorrow night. Where their hearts are going to win tonight,
I'll come to
difficult
that.
game for Celtic. Rangers will be hoping that they both drop points.
Scoreline tomorrow night for Rangers, what do you feel?
I'll go for a 3-0 Rangers.
3-0. Peter, what do you feel? I'm just checking.
3-0 Rangers.
3-0 Rangers, yeah.
Yep.
Do you think Naderi will play tomorrow night?
I do.
Do you think he'll come straight in? Yeah, Jamie?
Yeah, you wouldn't say Kilmarnock are one of the strongest teams in the division, so it might be a good one to get them in.
Let me see yours again here, Peter. You're going for Livy against Falkirk. Peter, you're saying 2-0 to the Bairns. What do you feel, Jamie?
Again, yeah, Falkirk win. It's been a difficult time for Livingston. You're expecting Falkirk on a nice AstroTurf pitch to go out there and win it.
And to recap, Peter, you said a Hibs win against United.
Yeah, 3-1.
3-1.
Yes.
Jamie?
I think I went for 2-0 Hibs.
2-0. So, Jamie, we asked you earlier on. Peter said, I'll tell you at the end of the window, and it's the end of the programme, just after the window, who's going to win the title, Jamie? Rangers. Peter, what do you feel?
Yeah, I would say Rangers are favourites, Paul. 100%, yeah. I think because of the striker they've brought in ready. I think my only question mark with Rangers now would be their centre-backs maybe give up chances. But I don't know where the Celtic boys are in their fitness. You know, if Celtic's group were fully fit, and I'd seen it enough of the new boys coming in, I just think that striker position, you need more than one. And I'm not sure if Celtic have got that at this moment in time, with any actual being out at fitness levels. And you're putting a lot on Tomasz at this moment in time, especially when he's not been playing. You don't want him to pick up an injury. And that's why I just think if anything happened to him, and any actual, if Johnny Kenny's away, obviously, and I've not seen the new boy, if he scored one goal in 18, I'm a wee bit concerned.
Okay.
And that's where I think Rangers have got the nod, because they've got a striker in who's scoring goals and playing 90 minutes.
You're always really fair. I wasn't expecting that, but tomorrow night you think
I hope
it's
I'm
going to be
100% wrong.
But you think it's going to be a win for Celtic though?
Oh yeah,
tomorrow night.
Yeah.
2-1. And for you, Jamie?
I'll go 3-1 Celtic.
3-1 Celtic. Wow. On that bombshell, good luck for the weekend. Thank you, Jamie. Peter, thank you so much.
Pleasure, Paul.
And we're back tomorrow night with Andy and James. Thanks to everyone. The news is next, then it's Jokel Day. See you tomorrow at 5.
The Go Radio Football Show.